youtube.com/JFreshOfficial. Pure Urban Fire each and every Wednesday night with me, Jay Fresh. You know we always cover the bases with the hottest interviews around with the biggest artists from the UK and the US. I'm really excited about the guy I've got on the phone line now. I've been a fan of him for a long time now. Back in the limelight with the latest release of the Pure Garage Anthem CD. Jason Kaye on the phone line. How's it going, sir?
Yeah, not too bad, Jay, and yourself. A nice bit of weather today.
Exactly, mate. I mean, we can't complain. I mean, it's sunny down here on the south coast in Bournemouth. The girls are out. What's it like in London?
In London, it's very smoggy and polluted, but apart from that, we love the weather.
We love the weather. Without boosting you, you are a groundbreaking UK garage DJ and producer from way back when. I mean, my first awareness about you and your movements and what you're doing was via, obviously, the Social Circles label.
Yeah.
My racks at home are still full of records, Ordinary People, The Message, countless Sticky productions, Lady Stush, Simon Says, Standard Hoodlum, they're all in there. So give us a bit of background about how the label came around for you.
Well, the label came around basically, obviously, I was DJing since about 1988. I was getting more into the production and learning more about it because I came through the acid house era, then it went on to hardcore, so I'd done all the raves, the big raves. I've done some of the illegal stuff in the old days as well, and that was under the name Top Buzz, and we're still running that at the moment, so we still play old school jungle, drum and bass, hardcore acid house sets. So then I got into the production. My partner, who was Mad P, his brother had a studio, so I thought, well, let's get in now and see if we can do anything. I could play a couple of keys, nothing to write home about, bit of a one-fingered player. And then we just basically got into the production from then. And then about 96, I thought, I'm going to start my label. Started the label, and obviously it took off from there. We had Miss Dynamite, as you said, and various others. And we've done really well out of it, and it was good fun, and everyone we were working with in the office were all of like mind, and we've done really well, and that's what happened from there, really.
And you were at the forefront of the UK garage scene at the time where it was getting the most kind of media awareness and kind of commercial spotlight. I mean, you were involved with the raves, producing, DJing, compilations. I mean, it must have been a magical time for you.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I mean, I always look at that as something which was, for us, it was a fantastic achievement because we were a very small record label, and everyone seemed to think, oh, Social Circles, that's one of the UK's biggest independents. But when you came into our office, there was only 3 or 4 people working in there, which was really, it was quite an achievement, and I'll always remember that. I've got fond memories of those times. And now to come back with Warner's, coming back with one of their biggest brand in garage, you know, there's been a massive resurgence in garage because I had some of the Warner chaps out with me when I was playing out at the O2 Arena, the Indigo, before Christmas, and they said they couldn't believe that everyone there was like 18, 19, 20, 21, and they thought to themselves, well, these guys 14 years ago or 12 years ago, where were they? How comes they love the music so much? So it was, you know, and you're talking about 2,500 people in the club. And they're going on regular these events, and they're always sold out and always packed. And the guys at Warner said to me, it's Kathy Kelly up there, she said, you know what, we should do another round with the album. I think it's going to do really well, and it's flown out, so we're really happy about that.
And the compilation, which we'll come on to now, I mean, for you personally, I've still got loads of compilations from you back at home in the studio. There's the original Garage Nation one that was the grey CD pack. There was the one you did with Deneo as well, and countless kind of mixed mag and DJ mag giveaways. So the new compilation, Pure Garage Anthems, obviously you've kind of answered my question of how it came around. The label heads were down at the rave, they saw what you were doing to it, and they saw the appeal to it. But unlike a lot of CDs nowadays, Jason, these are live mixes. So how do you go around the process of actually putting the CD together?
First of all, we have to license the tracks. So everybody that owns the tracks, we have to get a license off them to be able to use it. So all the guys at Warner's done that. A lot of phoning around, catching up with people that they haven't spoken to for the last 6 years and whatever. What's happened to him? Some of the rights have been sold onto this company, etc., etc. So it's basically like a massive research program. Yeah. So we put forward approximately 120 tracks. We ended up losing a lot of those because a lot of the people weren't around, or these rights had gone on to him. You couldn't get on hold of this chap. So eventually we did a good job and managed to get 65 great tracks on there. And then we get into the mix, go into the mix it in the studio with the CDJs. We then put it on the computer, make sure all the levels are fine, and then get it off and mastered.
And we look at the track listing, and as we expect and have come to expect from the Pure Garage brand, you've obviously got the biggest classic tunes, but also with this one, it's also important to push some of that new music. We notice, 2011 remixes of Lethal Beast Forward and Explicit, and a little bit of variance with records like Pond de Floor in there as well. So it's the balance of what people know garage is about, but also the importance to push the new music. And as a DJ and a producer, the new music is obviously an important angle.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Jay, actually, because what it is, a lot of people have been getting on Facebook, and now a lot of the top producers are starting to produce garage again. Obviously, for a while it went a bit quiet, so we're looking to actually be putting some new stuff out and get it rolling for the youngsters to start buying it again. But you hit the nail on the head there. You do need new stuff to be able to feed the scene, so we can get a few more anthems out there. And then we can take off from there, basically. But there's a lot of people involved and a lot of young producers now that are coming through, which have got some great ideas for some new sounds, because we need a bit of more of a modern edge to it. But obviously we need all the big tunes, basically. Once we get a couple of anthems, then things can really start taking off.
I mean, it's been well documented, the kind of split of UKG and all the subgenres, and for me, music evolves, music changes, and we've now got dubstep, which is such a healthy global scene, and grime and funky doing their things. Myself as a DJ, I always thought they got to a point where perhaps there was an over-reliance on the kind of older music. And as you mentioned, for me, people like Mike Delinquent at the moment, with the stuff that's coming out, I mean, it was only a few years...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It was only a few years ago that Artful Dodger kind of came back with the Midnight Circus kind of angle.
Yeah.
I always think it's a balance. I always think it's a balance to help push the new music. Otherwise, in 10 years' time, it's still records from maybe 15, 20 years ago, and the generation gap becomes that bit harder.
Absolutely. No, it's always important. It's like running a car. If it hasn't got any fuel, it's not going to be able to go anywhere, and if you don't service it, it's going to stop working. But the fact that these anthems were so big in the first place is basically what's kept it going, which is good. So obviously, like you said, a balance is essential, because a lot of people will know these tracks. Oh, I remember that track. And, and they like to go out. And as you well know, the public, when you're playing out, you've got to have a few things that they can sing along to. You can't just play a complete set of new tunes, because you'll lose the crowd. The girls will either go to the bar or they'll go to the toilet or whatever, and then next thing you know, the dance floor's empty. So you've got to have a balance, which is what you said. I totally agree with that.
When we chatted a little bit earlier in the interview about how the label first came around, the Social Circles project that you were doing, and it was all about cut-in and DAT tapes and acetates and all these things. Now, obviously, the situation is very different. So how do you approach the angle now? Because everything's online.
Yeah, it's hugely viral. I think nowadays you almost don't even need an internet site with Facebook. You can just have a Facebook page. I mean, there's loads of promoters out there and people releasing songs that are just getting hyped up purely through Facebook. And it has changed a lot. It's mainly viral based now on the internet, and that way it's good for an independent, because obviously it costs a lot less to be able to get a track out there.
Exactly.
And for people to recognise it.
You're still gigging hard, obviously just recently mixed a compilation. Your future plans, you've been involved in, soundtracks and album scores and stuff. So for 2011, what is Jason Kaye looking at? What's in the pipeline?
Obviously, I've been doing, I don't know if you know, but I've done the score for, I've been scoring films, basically. For anyone who doesn't know what scoring is, it's basically, if you see something happening in a film, it's a little bit moody, someone's upset, they're looking outside, or whatever, you hear the little piano in the background kind of summing up the mood of what's going on. And basically that's the score. So we've done the score for a film called Bonded by Blood.
That's right.
It's gone out through Gateway Films. And it was in about 63 cinemas, and then they released it on DVD just before Christmas. It was a £1 million film, and it actually beat a £60 million film called The Last Exorcism into fourth place as the fourth best-selling DVD over Christmas. It's kind of like a Brit flick gangster movie, and it had Adam Deacon in it, Vincent Reagan, who was in Mistresses, it had Terry Stone in it, and Tamer Hassan, and it's just a Brit flick gangster film about the clubs and, you know, the normal stuff that you see in that kind of film, stuff that I might not be able to mention over the radio, I'll put it that way.
Keep it clean. This is an angle something that's interested you, something that you're going to pursue and continue with, because the role of a DJ has changed from just playing raves to radio to producing to a lot of people involved in soundtracks.
Yeah, it's definitely evolved, as everything does, you know. And we've got a new film. We've got two more that we're working on this summer. They're going to be starting to be filmed this summer. One of them's called 50/50, and that's going to be distributed by Atlas Entertainment in America and also Lionsgate in Europe. So that's kind of like a True Romance meets Ocean's 11, and it's quite a comedy actually. So we're looking forward to working on that. And also we're going to be doing some work on Sisterhood, which is another gateway film, which is basically about girl gangs in London.
So plenty in the pipeline on the film front for this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's great working on films, coming in every day, seeing the film without any music to it. It's very strange.
It must be quite surreal.
Listening to the dialogue.
Surreal. It must be quite surreal looking at it all, and then adding your elements and your idea about this will be the best part to change the mood and put this in and put it in this key because it has that emotion to it. It must be strange, man.
It's very strange, and it's funny because Terry, who's from Gateway Films, Terry Stone, me and him used to run the clubs together, so we were running Garage Nation together, One Nation. So obviously I knew him from then, and then he's gone on to make the films, and I asked him once, Terry, is there any chance of me doing any music for one of your films? And he said he's got some of the best producers in the world working on the films at the moment, and if a gap comes available, he will let me know. And then one day out of the blue, I got the phone call, and I said, yeah, we're involved. Obviously, we've got our own recording studios here with all the top gear. So we just got in and done it. We delivered it in 6 weeks. They absolutely loved it, and away we go. And then on the other hand, we've also got 2 independent record labels that we're working with now. I still own the rights to Social Circles, but I'll put that on the back burner for the moment. But we're going to be bringing that in, and we've got 2 other labels. One's called Reach, and one's called Nemesis. And we've got a new act coming out, Glow Easy. In fact, we've got a big dubstep track of hers because we're trying to do anything that's basically underground. We want to make it and then maybe take it overground basically and give it out to the general public and let them see what they think of it. We've also got our own publishing company, Wigwam Publishing, so we're signing up a few acts for that, and it's going really well.
Plenty in the pipe. My question of have you got much lined up for 2011? There's a lot going on. So it's good, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. We've just finished building our offices as well, which is good, so we can have somewhere to focus on and come in and get all our paperwork sorted out and that, because as you well know, DJs, they're not the best organised of chaps. Talking for myself, by the way, Jay, not for you.
Okay, thank you. My PA's actually quite good, but I couldn't do it myself.
Well, there you go. Say no more. Same with me, basically. We're more on the creative tip, and we should put that there. Let's do this like that. Let's do that. Ask us to do a bit of paperwork, and we're twiddling our thumbs.
Yeah, tell me where to go, and give me a postcode, and give us a contact name, and we'll get there. But yeah, basically, we'll be there to do that. But the rest of it is a bit much. But no, jokes aside, we're really enjoying ourselves, and we're having a great time. We've also got another girl. I don't know if you've heard of Shay Soul. We've just done a track featuring her, Always There. That's by the Academics, and it's kind of like a UK funky track. So, things are going really well. Excellent. Well, listen, thanks a lot for your time, mate. I appreciate that, Jason.
No problem, Jay. I really appreciate that. And also, I'd like to give everyone a big shout down there in Bournemouth. Big shout to all Fire Radio listeners, 107.6, and keep up the good work. Thank you for your time, sir. It's really appreciated that you're helping us on this project.